And we're live. Unfortunately, we're not recording this. Our storage is full.
What?
Said our storage is full.
Well, you asked me not to erase it. So I didn't erase it. Can go back and start erasing. Remember, erasing stuff from here doesn't erase it from YouTube and...
Yeah, go ahead and erase it then, I guess.
It's still available on YouTube. I don't know how it works with Twitch though. So. Trying to get more music. I've called in Jake to help.
Well, I was a little worried I misunderstood you.
What?
I was a little worried. Oh, I was just a little worried you were telling me to change the music. Like after you left, and I was like, oh, was I supposed to change it? Like, I just started questioning what you said. That's all.
No, I'm trying to give us more selections of music. Actually, I've got an expanded playlist with this artist.
Okay.
But the way it works for me to put it on StreamYard is I have to make them zip files. And then Jake makes them into one long song.
Hi, Art People 42. Thank you. Welcome to the Gored Pub. Art People 42 said, "Nice piece." I'm assuming he was referring to the artwork, or she.
Well, you know. I'm assuming that too because I'm not often called that.
Hi, Brett. How are you?
Hi.
Tell Grandma. Tell Mom. The fire drill, Mom. Fire drill.
Can you hear him?
I can hear him.
He's saying fire drill tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw. No.
We had a tornado drill yesterday.
You guys tell her last night? She did?
What's that?
You got dead last night?
What about Brett last night?
What did you do last night? I saw.
What did he do last night at school? He said they had a fire drill yesterday. Or a tornado drill.
So
Yeah.
you know what one? You don't like it. You don't like it?
He doesn't like it. He's asking if you don't like it.
It's not my favorite.
Well, our people has apparently seen me. Either that or they're meaning you. Me,
I think
Brett, Brett,
Yeah.
what am I doing? My camera's going opposite.
Yeah. Our people clearly said it was the artwork. I, for one, am shocked.
Yeah, thanks. No, there's not going to be any aneurysms here now. Well, we assume there's going to be no aneurysms. Hopefully, we'll have some more music pretty soon. I've acquired more from that particular artist, and it's really everything from classical to jazz to Keystone Cops. Like, some of it sounds movie soundtrack, and all the stuff that we have on this particular playlist. None of that's on the two playlists that I sent to Jake to make into one. It's really weird. So I can upload one song at a time, but it'll just play in a loop. Like I can upload a whole bunch of different songs, but you can only play one as you click one at a time. And I don't do that because I'm not going to stop and click a song every couple of minutes. So interestingly enough, well, thank you. Mr. Ware is appropriate. I don't know Hayware.
Have you met Highware? How about Beware?
I've tattooed Richard Ware.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about myself. I was going to say, interesting enough, I have a reference for jack-o'-lanterns that I made myself. The question is, there it is. The question is, where it is. So, I will be kind or cruel enough to share.
Before I forget, did I share that submission call for werewolf stories?
Yes, you did. At the most inopportune time.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Now I'm writing 3 stories.
I just thought, oh, that sounds like something that's in Rich's wheelhouse.
Well, yeah, everyone that knows me knows I have a fondness for werewolves.
I feel like there's a potential in werewolves that I don't know how to crack, and I've never seen crack. I don't know. And I can't even describe what it is. I feel like something's there, but I'm not sure what it is. And,
Brett, you're being asked a question.
Oh. No. Do I draw also? Not in front of people. That's for certain. Not anymore. I haven't done any artwork for probably 20 years. Kind of gave it up so I could write.
This is a photo that I took of one of my own jack-o'-lanterns, so I could get the colors right.
Art People wants me to draw while you're on stream so that you can compare, quality work with. It's like the average schmo at the Olympics suggestion, only it's artwork. Anyway, Art People said nice jack-o'-lantern.
Nope.
That was the jack-o'-lantern.
The other one was Larry Correa in a costume.
Yeah. As for if I write that good, I don't know. I still occasionally.
And I kind of like this picture.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
those are some references. The only difference is that I'm magnifying the blue that's on the back
Yeah.
and making it a lighter color. You can see the porch color blue there, but I'm going to make it even a lighter color for contrast, so that it contrasts, so that the highest point of contrast is his head. I'm going to put probably a tree or two in there, just the silhouette, but again, right up against his head, so that will be still the highest point of contrast.
Rich, I don't know if you'll know this, but you seem to know a lot about art, a lot more than I do. And I keep thinking I've seen something, but I can't find it. I don't know what to look up. So I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you what I think it is, and you can tell me if I'm crazy, which I might be. It could just be Mandela effect or just me being crazy. I don't know.
Did you see that comment follow up from nice jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious because it says no, no, no.
Yeah. I got what he was saying.
I just didn't know if you had read it out loud.
Oh.
A lot of stuff going on here. Anyway.
So, it's... I swear I've seen this where it's an S, like a calligraphy S, except for the top curve of it. Kind of imagine, if you will, an invisible woman's back, and the S kind of follows her shoulders around, down, around her hips, and then has the divot for her butt on the bottom S. And I swear I've seen that before.
You mean a reverse S? Or
No, it's just an S that kind of looks like it's drawn around the contours of a woman's back.
okay, so what you're talking about is line of action or line of beauty.
Okay.
Actually, I think it'd be a line of beauty. Line of beauty usually is a curved line, but it's also a gestural line. So it's a gesture drawing following the top of her shoulders, down the side of her back to the outside of her other hip, and then underneath. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
So it's a gesture drawing and what's called a line of beauty. So you can look up line of beauty. You might even find it if you're looking up a gesture drawing.
That's what I wanted to know. That's exactly what I wanted to know.
Let's
I
see.
have a term I can look up now. So everything I kept trying to look up was like, no. So, and I was being explicit with exactly what I wanted, but nope. Hi, Allison O'Gaby. Or is it Gabby?
Yeah. Hey, Allison. Yeah, I see a couple of them that refer to that S shape, but I don't see anything implicitly making an S like that.
All right. Well, as long as.
But yeah, that's where it comes from. If you look up gesture drawings,
Yeah.
you'll see what I'm talking about, and that's basically how you do. I don't know if this is safe to post. I'm gonna give it a shot anyway, because you know me.
Because we'll be we'll be struck again.
Yeah. Well,
No.
we shouldn't be, because the thing that I'm showing doesn't have actual details.
Okay.
It has enough details, but it doesn't really have all of the details, so that should be safe, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I got you off on a tangent.
Chris, we'll find out. Well, yeah, not really. I mean, I just wanted to see if a quick search would pull it up, but there isn't. Really? What the? Let's see. Oh, okay. That's what's going on. There we go. That's much better. And present. Okay.
Okay, well that's
right here.
yeah.
You've got an S shape. This is all about. This is the line of action, and this is also a line of action. But it's also a gesture. You see how?
Yeah, I get it.
A movement. Yeah, I'm not just explaining to you. You know that.
Okay.
I hope you know that by now.
Well, a little bit.
But yeah, I think you're gonna find that under gesture drawing, or if not, line of action, or not line of action, line of beauty. All right. Enough dilly dallying. Yeah, so now I'm writing 3 stories. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And this one's a harder one, and because I don't know if I'm gonna get it done in time, actually, because it's like 17 days to write it and write it and polish it, and then send it off. And then you can hear about whether or not they accepted it within 4 months.
I know.
I mean, it is professional rates, and that's my shtick, right?
Right.
But like, I've already got 250 words just from last night. I'm kicking around this idea. I'm like, well, how am I going to write a werewolf story that's original and come up with it and write it and polish it within
17 days.
less than 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's no problem. No problem. Pretend you're Jack London.
Believe it or not, short stories are almost harder to write. They are definitely harder to write and keep within that 4,000 word limit.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, yeah, I'm out.
I'm trying it. Worst that can happen, I figure, is I'll have a short story to sell to my normal editor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to write a 2,500 word short story.
Oh, so that when you have 4,000, it's
yeah. Exactly.
That's so funny.
So I know a lot of the information that's going in it right now is milieu information instead of like plot information. It's really establishing the setting because it's a historical setting, of course. Oh, I should be saying. Maybe I also should make this large enough to see. I'm using golden fluids. This is cadmium red medium. It's not focusing. How about this?
It almost did. There you go. Oh, never lost it.
Well, yeah, I have to move.
You can freeze it on
And
YouTube.
then coral orange.
Oh, that one was good.
And both of them are fluids. I use the fluids as much as I can. And titanium white and golden opens.
Do you know what a head mirror is?
Where are we guys from? I'm from Maine as well. Well, I'm in Maine anyway.
Yeah. A couple of Mainers. Is there a nickname for people from Maine?
Mainers.
Okay.
You know what the nickname are with people from Massachusetts, right?
No what?
We call them nassholes.
Our people said, "You're in Maine? Weird." Mainers, yeah. Assholes, yeah.
Yep.
I'm from Indiana, and I'm in Indiana.
And he's a big proponent of Indiana.
No, I mean, I don't know if I'm
Indiana authors, Indiana teams, Indiana movies, Indiana books.
Well, hey, I'm sorry, but Indiana isn't exactly known for its art history.
I'm sorry, but but I just said you were a big proponent of Indiana. I have no problem with that. You can be a proponent of where you're from. Mainers are fiercely Mainers.
I just think that you can count famous people, famous artists from Indiana probably on one hand.
And I'm a transplant, so my wife's a Mainer, like born and bred. I'm a transplant.
You're a tumbleweed.
I'm married into Maine. Well, I was kind of a tumbleweed. Got caught up here.
I just think, you can. There's Kurt Vonnegut. Okay, got him for an author, and there's not a whole. Although Stephen King lived in Indiana for a while, but he's not from Indiana. And notice he doesn't live in Indiana now, because Stephen King. So, I've been thinking about your night idea. Art people know Stephen King once lived in Indiana. He was younger, way before he was famous. I think he was passed off to a relative.
He's from Maine. So,
yeah. No, I think it.
You're never going to get past that with a Mainer. Mainers are.
I think it was after the father left at some point, I believe. So there was a portion where. That's something that social media has kind of, I guess, cooled me about my feelings for Stephen King. So.
Yeah, it's a damn shame that some artists can't just be artists.
Yeah, or just. Yeah.
But to be fair, like we're people too. Whether you're, whether you're.
I know, but that thing about don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little bit easier to kind of meet them. And, it's like, all right. Oh, that's cool. Our people said that he's seen, I believe it's King's parents' house before, and he goes by it on the way to camp.
So are in Bangor or because like King's house is in Bangor. He didn't grow up in Bangor. He grew up near Bangor. But some people conflate the two. Yeah.
Our people said they forget where it is. He's not quite sure.
Where are you at in Maine?
Oh. I'm thinking about a particular Star Wars line. Art people said, I live in Brunswick now, but camp is up north.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm right now in Bath. So we're not that far away. We're really close.
Our people said, holy shit, dude. That's crazy. He's right next door, literally 10 minutes away.
Yeah, within probably. Depends on what part of Brunswick he's in, but.
Art people said, wow, you were the first one on the streams for me. It said you started 2 minutes ago when I clicked.
Oh, cool.
You got social media for your art?
So, is he on YouTube, right? No, he's not.
It's on Twitch.
Actually, it should be listed on Twitch. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I've got a link on Twitch. I'm on Instagram, which I don't keep up with as much as I should. I'm a mod on the David Finch fan server.
Our people said, I see it.
I've got X, YouTube. I've got a Rumble account, but I haven't gotten into it very far yet.
I think I do too somewhere.
Well, what I like about Rumble is
Our people said, oh, Paul Maitland follows you? Sick.
Oh, yeah, Paul's pretty good. That's the one who calls it goo wash.
Goo wash. I have never heard it called goo wash.
Yeah, the English guy when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. For us, I mean, I never once in all of my art classes did they call it goo wash.
Yeah, right. Because over here they call it gouache.
Yeah.
Over there it's like something that you do after sex.
Art people said your work is amazing. Nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, I haven't made my way around the channels again in a while. I just don't seem to have time. Now I'm writing 3 stories.
Art people said, ridiculous. You can make a sick comic book or books, period. I'm looking on Instagram.
There is that. Like, I'm making a comic book. We are making a comic book as well. I was taking a break from it to do a couple of commissions. We have been documenting the process. I guess that's the best way to put it.
And it's a process.
Well, it is.
We're in the trust the process stage.
So what it is that we're trying to show, like, the pitfalls and what persistence will bring you if you go past those pitfalls. And we've had pitfalls over art, over time, over collaboration. Pretty much every pitfall that you can think of.
I just think it's funny that I forget where I heard it, but it was at some writing conference where the advice was never, ever, 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 ever work with your friends. Art people said bravo.
I would say that Margaret
Well,
Weis and Tracy Hickman would dispel that myth.
I kind of agree. I'm like, who else you can work with? Because
well, yeah, if you're not friends as you're working on something like this,
yeah.
What are you, right?
I think that's one of those. They had a bad experience, and so therefore they assume that all experiences will be like theirs.
Well, some people were meant to collaborate and some people weren't. Like, I keep hoping to collaborate and have a good collaborative experience because I have way more ideas than I have time to fulfill. So, like, I think if I can find a good collaborative experience and I can throw my ideas out there and let somebody else work on it when I can't, and then work on it when they can't, then it would be good. But we have to get into the same state of mind, right? We've had a little bit of issue with that, but we haven't had overly. I think it's funny that what we really had the major fight over was the most inconsequential of story details.
True. Art people says that he likes to write also, and that is awesome.
Well, I've written and am published.
It's like you use your big boy words.
I sell regularly. He doesn't publish as regularly as he buys my work, but I've got an editor that does. Which he's supposed to come on one of these and kind of sell his publishing company a little bit, promote. So I guess what I'm getting at there is that if you're right, you're interested. We don't have, like, I have an online writers group, but I don't have an in-person writers group. And I would love to start one with a couple of like-minded fellows. Fellows being asexual. Like, could be a girl, could be a fellow in this use of the word.
Art People said he joined.
Well, if you want to, then, give me a friend request on any of the social media platforms and let me know we talked about it, and then we can find out where would be the most advantageous place to meet up.
Art People said that he followed you on Instagram.
Okay. I'm on Facebook too, but I just instigate most of the time. I'm testing them to see how long it takes for them to kick me off. Apparently, I got them to dim down my entire presence for a while because someone was concerned. He told me that they went to my profile and there was nothing. Like, it only lasted till I asked the question. I posed it. Like, if you see me, let me know, because somebody said that I'm pretty much being canceled.
Art People said they have muted me a few times. Yeah, that happens. I forget what they call it. Shadow banning? Throttling?
They call it dimming your posts.
Ah.
So that it's harder for other people to see those posts. Because they also call the truth
malinformation?
Yeah, misinformation.
Well, there's malinformation, which is information which, if known, would be detrimental to the narrative.
Yeah, they call it misinformation. I didn't say that they were right.
No, they call it malinformation.
Well, that's not what they call it on the posts they cover, and that's not what they call it on my warnings.
Says content is available right now, and I click on the Facebook link. That's funny.
Yeah, well, I've figured out part of the secret. When they figured out, we have to have a different code for it. But if you really want to post something that's truthful beyond their watchdogs, you have to make a comment and post the actual video or whatever in the comment.
That's like, I wondered why Larry Corey is. How do you say his last name?
Korea.
Corey? Okay, yeah. He just
like the country.
See, I thought that, but I also keep thinking it's Courier for some reason. I don't know why.
No, it's Korea, but it's it's probably actually got rolls to the R's.
Oh, well, good luck with that. But
content isn't available, huh?
That's what I just told you.
Well, I actually thought you were saying it.
Oh, no. Sorry.
I can get around that too, actually. Just a second here and I'll post it. I'm stubborn. Not.
Nuh-uh. No.
Fair warning, it's probably going to piss you off at some point. That's a lot of what I do.
What, your Facebook feed?
Yeah, right?
Well, I always find it funny when I see something on yours and then I see something from my aunt. Just back and forth in my head.
Try that one. We also have a writer's page that I neglect. Wow, there's already 8 responses to stuff. I didn't even say anything. Oh, I guess I did say, like, life is like toilet paper. I'm either on the roll or taking crap from somebody.
Nice. Art People 42 said it says the same thing.
Huh. It says what? No, let me see.
Content isn't available.
Okay, so they're dimming me. Except for that I've got responses on Facebook, so that's really weird. Okay, my X page, which I check pretty regularly, is
Whoa!
I don't.
What happened there?
I don't know.
That was weird.
No, it just I hit shift or cap lock and a different button, and it just transferred me or something. That would be my X page, x.com. That's really weird. I think it has an x.com / in front of it, or yep. There you go. See if that link works for you. I really have no idea why you wouldn't be able to get into a Facebook one unless they literally dimmed me. And I guess that's possible, but people are responding, so I don't know. If they're responding, they're seeing posts to respond to. Maybe I actually do a search. That would help, maybe. Maybe. I get back to painting now.
Yeah, maybe you should do your job.
What's that?
What? I would just say you should, paint. Because, that's your job.
Yeah, kind of not. You have to get paid for it. Like
Okay, blah, blah.
I'm painting your painting.
I'm just saying, people come to see you paint. That's all. Because they certainly don't come for you.
I saw people running away from the painting.
That's weird. I can see you on Facebook. Of course, I'm already your friend. So, who knows? Odd. Art People said he doesn't use X, but he got you on Instagram. Got you on the gram.
Yeah. It's going to be harder to get a hold of me there. That's place that I actually frequent the least. But I'll look for you anyway.
Say, now you got a reason to go look.
Do a search. Well, like I'll see Dave Finch liking my stuff or whatever. And I've got private messages with different artists. So
Okay, now this may seem weird, and I just, as someone who does not put artwork online,
on your Instagram.
well, I'm just saying, if an artist likes your stuff or whatever, excuse me, I'm sorry. If an artist likes your stuff, can you use that kind of like quotes on the back of a book?
Not really. But you don't need to, because anyone that follows you on Instagram or sees one of those posts on Instagram will know that Dave Finch and however many other people there liked it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at a post, if you look at my Instagram and look at any of the pictures, it will show you a list of who likes it. So, I mean, I can't advertise, oh, Dave Finch liked this, but why would you? I mean, like, he's just a person as well. Like,
well, I get that.
I like Dave, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a starstruck guy.
Right. Neither am I.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's just as important that people that I don't even know who they are that are looking at it like it. Matter of fact, it's more important because Dave, even though it's cool that Dave likes some of my stuff, he's not going to buy it. He's not going to go out of his way to advertise for it or whatever. He might mention it word of mouth wise, but like Anthony Wheeler would do that anyway. He'll do that on his show. And he'll not only do that on his show, he'll show that on his show, but Dave won't. So I'm not, there's nothing against Dave when I'm talking like this. I'm just kind of trying to say that
Our people of Fortitude said Anthony Wheeler cool.
There's no particular reason to try to do that. Like, it's exactly the same thing in a different way as hearing who your favorite artist or whatever like politically. So, do you want to? Do you care to? Would it ruin something if you did? All these things I take into account. So, I like a lot of artists. A lot of them, I don't like their political opinion. I like a lot of artists, but I don't necessarily like a lot of the artists that they like. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I just said for marketing purposes.
Well, yeah, but you can't market. You're not really marketing it. Like, what are you going to say? Dave liked this picture. Okay.
Well, except for that's, I mean, again, what are book quotes? It's basically the same thing. It's just.
Well, no, a little bit different. Book quotes, at least, they tell you what their opinion is of the story, of the plot. Just because somebody likes something on Instagram doesn't tell you what they think of it as a whole. You know what I mean? It doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you what they think of it. It just says, "Oh, they liked it," but it doesn't cost anything to give anyone a like. It's not like that's a big deal. It's just a normal. He probably passes out 1,000 likes as he scrolls through. See what I mean? Now, the people that the people that like it and then they share it, or I don't know if they can even share it there. But the people that like it and they tell all their friends about it, and then all of a sudden you've got more followers and stuff. That's a big deal for me. Dave, it's a bigger deal for me when Dave says something to me in mail, that he takes the time to write a message out to me. Like I mentioned that Eli, because he's schedule driven, used to set his Mondays based on Dave. You know, well, it's time for a Monday night draw. But
That's cool.
and that's what he said. I mean, I guess they've got a special needs kid as well. Not as special needs. You know what I mean? Like, how do you rate special needs, right? Special needs is a special need. But
Yeah, but like,
some need more, I guess. What I'm saying.
yeah, or just need more or need differently, and
Well, I think pretty much all of them need differently, but just some of them need more, and some of them are like, they've got issues, but they can deal with those issues. They're just quirks, more or less. And then some people that what you would consider a quirk on the other people is the closest to normal they get, right? So that's what I'm referring to when I say that. Like, all special needs kids need special, and they deserve, special care, special attention, special consideration, all that. But just some of them just need more than others. That's all. Did you see the current Tim Walz bomb show? The October surprise?
no.
Yeah, the now current Beat choice for the Democrats is being accused of sexually molesting. I'm supposed to not say that, I guess. A 14-year-old kid took him to a concert and performed oral sex on them and tried to confuse them about whether or not they were straight or not. And that was wherever those relatives are that, he's not there. He was a teacher there. An assistant teacher and an assistant coach or something like that.
Well, I had seen something about that, but it was like
there's extensive details, and
I haven't seen that.
The victim is coming out to prosecute. Whatever it is they can do at this point in time, but they didn't wait. They just couldn't bear the thought of that person being a vice president and having to see them on television all the time. Now, I hear that Hillary predicted an October surprise, which this is released this close. I'm wondering if that's kind of an attempt to sabotage.
Art people, Rich and I met on it was an old forum called Hat Rank or Hat, whichever. I don't know. and writers, and we started critiquing each other's stuff. Got published together in a couple places, and just started hanging out.
Well, we have other friends from that forum, and one of them started a kind of private writers group just for people that are of the same kind of same mindset that we are. So nobody's going to get offended by anything really said in there. I guess as far as whatever discussions we're having that are off topic, or we are Christians, so a lot of people are offended by that. We are not, so it's okay to be Christian and be there. That's why it's not public, because not everybody's going to be of the same mindset. I think that pretty accurately sums things up.
I think so.
Like we don't like have a prayer to start the meeting or something like that. We have that belief, and we know other people don't. So, like in Hat Track, we wouldn't have expected it to be predominantly Christians. Even though you might expect it to be, considering it was Orson Scott Card's site, but most of those sites don't really espouse overt belief discussions, I guess. I don't care. Like I'm just happy that we can have a place to share something without being persecuted for what we think, even if we don't think it too much or too loudly or whatever, right?
A lot of people said heard.
So what I'm doing is layering this darker and darker. I kind of started with a value mixture of white and that pearl orange. That pearl orange, like the pearl red that I was using on the Cthulhu's wings, pretty bright, but it's pretty thin. Goes the thing, but I want the light source to be inside him and moonlight. So the moonlight will be the dimmer of the sources. It's the patience game.
Our people would like to know how long you have lived in Bath.
Ooh. That's not pretty tough question, really. We lived in Bath for, oh, I'm going to say almost 20 years now. We took a year and lived in North Carolina. And then came back to Bath. My wife is actually a Thomaston girl. We moved down to Bath. I had a tattoo shop.
Our people said I lived in Bath a few years ago, up the street from the market in town.
Street from the market in town.
Wants to know what
market?
shop.
Which market?
Yeah.
I had Psychotic Images that was on Mill Street for about a year, and then I closed down and merged with Altered Images before they moved to next to Walmart. And
He
then,
knows that shop. Like,
and then, yeah, I'm sure. I used to work there, and then they pretty much closed down and gave it over to one of the people that were in there. And it was very difficult to work with that person, so I moved out to Topsom. There was only one shop in Topsom, and that was the Parlor, who the owner was a first-time owner, but he had worked in the Lewiston Altered Image shop. Yeah, a lot of people know me from those days. I was in magazines, and it was a big deal for a while. These people made me out to be a big deal. I don't know if I was really a big deal.
oh,
Always a custom artist. Well, you know, I have almost 200 awards.
our people wants to know. He says your name sounds familiar. Do you know Ricky Reed?
Honestly, if I know people better by their tattoos than by their names, unless I've gotten to know them very well. That the name sounds familiar, but I don't really know. I can't swear by it. Maybe if I saw a picture. Maybe if he's on my friends list. A lot of people that I tattooed are on my friends list. A lot of people knew me by Straight Jacket. That's the name I tattooed under for years.
You okay?
Oh. It's the same old problems. Getting old. Old, getting creaky. That's creaky, not creepy.
Don't kid yourself. It's both.
No, I'm not. I'm not Tim. There's no creepy here.
'Tis the season. That's what our people said. 'Tis the season.
Season. Oh, to be old and creaky, probably. Yeah.
Or to be creepy because it's, Halloween season.
Well, I guess there's that as well. Hopefully not. Hopefully not that kind of creepy anyway. I've gone back to using the cadmium red. I'm not going to use it as prominently as I did the orange, though. Just for darker spots. Dog, every time he comes down the stairs, it sounds like he's in a cartoon or a cartoon.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't want his nails trimmed.
Oh.
So, like every time a bag opens or anything that could possibly be food, he comes down the stairs and it's like, and like, then he just stops and looks around with one ear cocked. I'm here, evening. All right, let's see if this works.
Okay.
Music.
Oh. Well, that was quick.
If it works.
Do you have to turn off the brand stuff?
I have to see if it uploads first.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll tell me that there's that file's too big. I sent Jake 2 files, and I think he combined them. But it's something knowing that that file is huge. Sometimes it's hard not to remember, or to remember not to take yourself too seriously. This is not supposed to be realistic because there is no realism for this. It was always meant to be kind of fun, so.
Do you know who 𝒏𝒂𝒐𝒐 is?
𝒏𝒂𝒐𝒐?
𝒏𝒂𝒐𝒐.
CID?
I don't know if it's CID or...
CID?
Yeah, it's SEED, I'm pretty certain. From the Tick.
Oh. No. I have limited knowledge of the Tick.
Well, one of the...
I was talking about the actual historical hero.
Yeah. You know, 𝒏𝒂𝒐𝒐 was a supervillain. And he kind of looks like a evil anthropomorphic sunflower. And so it kind of has the body of that of your guy. So it kind of reminds me of that. Like a, I don't know, some weird Swamp Thing-esque jack-o'-lantern guy. I don't know. I love the characters off of the Tick. I don't know why. They always make me chuckle. Like Chairface Chippendale. He had a chair for a head.
Go figure.
I mean, it's just like, what? There was a guy, Buttery Pat. Oh, he made me laugh a lot. I'm gonna end up with a chapped nose. Ugh.
What?
All I've been doing tonight is sneezing and blowing my nose.
That's weird. I've had a sneezing day as well.
Oh. Oh. Well, that really sucks. I just realized I have work I have to do.
For school.
No, I mean I can wait till 11 to do it. It's yeah, I gotta finalize grades for the quarter.
What do you do for $1?
What do I do for $1?
Well, you said you're gonna finalize grades for a quarter.
Yeah. For the 9 weeks.
Dad jokes, man. Dad jokes.
The real question is how much I really feel like. Oh well.
How much you really feel like what?
Well, there are two ways of doing it. There's the quick and dirty, where I just go through and kind of put the 9-week grade in. Because I know what the 9-week grade is. Because I have it in a separate grade book. Or do I go through all of the different category totals and change all of those, which will give me the quarter grade, but you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to trace it mathematically easier, I suppose. But it's how much do I really care? But it's got to get done.
You're wet.
There, we'll see if one of my children will. I don't know what it is, and it's annoying as hell, but I cannot access my grade book unless I'm on a school device, which, okay, whatever. But that just means it takes longer to grade. But my laptop sits still out in my car. So I asked one of my boys to bring it in.
Got a feeling we lost a viewer.
We keep fluctuating between 1 and 2.
Right.
So,
Everyone was a viewer. We just never really had one in the first place.
I don't think of it that way. I think people they spend the time they can spend, and then, they got busy lives. But last time you had talked, I don't know if it was last time or not. It was one of the times, relatively recently. You had brought up the idea of
expanding our universe with knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's originally what I kind of wanted to do with my extractor idea. Was kind of like, you ever see, I'm sure you have, the original Cyborg with Van Damme?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, okay, so I'm not saying that was a great movie, although I loved the ideas in it. But that's kind of where my idea was kind of born of, is the slingers, the people that guided other people through the wastelands. But you can't use slinger, so. But then thinking about knights and how they're similar, like Knights Templar, that's what their job were originally, ostensibly, was to guide pilgrims. So anyway, you still there?
Yeah, I'm just processing.
Well, you don't have to go by that. Like that's the thing, right? This is what sparked the idea, not what the idea is.
Right, but
like I've been reading a lot of night fiction and writing some night fiction, I guess. So, and I like it. I like the setting. I like that even though they didn't really live by a code, they believed in a code.
Okay.
Well, it's like people today that don't live by their beliefs but claim they espouse certain beliefs, right? You had an idea?
Well, no, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to see how that would work. I guess if Mastiff. Okay, let's say Mastiff is one of these knights. How does that what is his job like? Like, we know what he can do. I'm assuming knights would have various abilities.
Do you know much about knights?
I don't know. I mean, am I a big history buff? No, but
That's not what I asked. I asked if you knew much about knights, and if there's no shame in not knowing.
Well, I know some. You know, it's one of those things like how much is a lot? I don't know. That's why I'm just. And again, it's got to be something that works in a futuristic setting.
Well, I don't think that matters. I don't think the setting so much matters. You might have to adapt certain things to the setting, but all right. So
that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out.
Knights were. A lot of knights were nobility. And when you're knighted, you're a sir, and you become a noble.
Wow.
Some knights had land, some didn't. Most of them, if they were awarded a knightship, like by a king, they would be given land.
Right.
There is a certain expectation in that time period of how you speak to a superior, like a knight, or there were plenty of men at arms, but they weren't knights. They were fighters. Some of them had some money or were landowners, and they had armor, but they weren't knights. So they weren't called sir. And anyone that was called sir, unless you were a sir, had to defer to. Understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just making sure we're on the same track. I'm not trying to be condescending. So if I sound condescending, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm trying for. I do not know how much you know or how much you don't know. So I'm trying to kind of condense a lot of it.
My thing is, with the way we had set up city-states being post-apocalyptic, some of the stuff that goes into like the deference doesn't make sense. They don't have land. None of them have land.
Well,
really.
I don't know. Like, so you would say land, but it could be modified to being possessions, or a home, or owning a building that other people lived in. You see what I mean? But you asked about what a knight's job was.
Well, I want to know what mastiffs would be like.
Well, a mastiff doesn't have to be a knight. That's why I didn't say we would make mastiff a knight. I said I was thinking about adding knights into the ceremony, the mythos, like a type of knights, and that's why I asked if you knew how knights were. I mean, the chivalry code is ostensible, but it's not necessarily true. That's like courtly love, right?
Right.
Courtly love is not actually making love to somebody, but it is choosing a woman that you favor, or a man that you favor. Like in a lot of jousts or whatever, you would see a queen give out a laurel or whatever. That's a courtly love thing where she basically garners a loyalty by favoring them. But knights were pretty much a nobility class that made decisions because there was no like magistrates, or you couldn't just take a knight to court if you didn't like what a knight was doing. which is why so many of them got away with the shit that they got away with. But they were your war leaders. They were your war planners. They were the ones to leave their homes and basically lead battles. And when I say lead battles, that was a group of soldiers as well. But they may not be the ultimate commander, but that's who the sub-commanders would be also, would be knights. But also, if a knight's group or a company was to defeat another company or a part of an army or whatever, they would loot those that they defeated. And some of them would sell them, so you basically end up pawning whatever, because if there go the spoils, right?
Yeah.
So there's kind of a payment, and there's a physical payment to knights and those who serve under them. They go to war under them, and then there's the looting aspect of it. And also, knights, when they were defeated, often were held for ransom. And that's actually where ransoms come from. Because those that weren't knights were just outright killed. And then you would sell or pawn their goods, their armor, their horse, their whatever. And it would take a deal of thinking, because I'm not thinking that we just use regular knights, but use knights as an example. There were a few companies of knights that, there were companies of knights that were not, they didn't work for a king, so they worked for hire. They're basically mercenary groups. But the same rules applied. So, even if you captured a mercenary lord who was basically a knight, generally knights led mercenary companies, but there were different types of mercenary companies, and some of them were exemplars, and some of them were just basically criminals, rapists, and murderers, and whatever that would roam around the countryside in time of war, preying on the peasants and preying on the cities around certain kingdoms. So they would be attacking their livestock or anything that was outside of the walls and unprotected, to try to draw out armies or to take away their winter food supply. Or there's a lot more to it, I can tell you, but I have to not be doing what I'm doing to focus on it.
I understand.
So yeah, I thought it would be interesting to have those different kinds of companies where some of them are hired protectors and some of them are rogues and some of them are haughty because they're lords, and you know what I mean. So that dynamic, which I believe there would be some of that dynamic if the world ever got to that place. That whole strong survive, strong rule type of thing. Well, you can either be strong enough to take whatever you want, or you can work for someone who pays you enough to get what you want. And some of the mentality is you can also extract like bribes to not attack cities and attack whatever. But that's what I said. I wanted to kind of incorporate them into this universe, not necessarily this story. They might just make enough of an appearance to know that there's going to be something like that later on. And that would be cool enough for me for now, but it wouldn't be something that we would do without expounding on something, right? We'd have to talk about it and figure it out. And I realize that we're trying to do this in a transparent way so that everyone that's following along with us gets an idea, but that's fine once we work out the dynamics. And like I just was able to suggest what I was thinking. There's no dynamics yet, even if there will be, because you might think about it and go, "No, I don't like that idea. It doesn't work for me," or whatever. And then I'll figure out how to apply it to something else and use the idea because I really like the idea.
Yeah, that's kind of like that story that I just sold. I'm like, I like that idea. I kind of wish I had not sold it, but I had already talked to the editor a little bit because he offered to look over ideas before you had to write a whole bunch. Like you could just give like a quick little, "Hey, this is what I was thinking."
Right, instead of committing yourself to a bunch of work that they're not going to buy anyway.
Right. So he dug what I was thinking. So then I kind of felt like, well, I shouldn't tease him, I guess. I don't know. But he bought it, so.
Well, I think you can be pretty sure when an editor likes the idea before you even get there.
Yeah.
That they're gonna probably buy it, barring that you really suck at your writer.
Well, yeah.
If you can do it in such a way that not only they read it, it's smoothly written or well written, then I think you're gonna win that every time. Not a sponsor.
But it could be.
I know, they'd have to give me a lot.
Right. They'd give you a bottle and say, please put this on your screen. You'd be like, all right. Because it's delicious.
I mean, because I already did.
I know.
They should sponsor me. They should pay me. But we all know Walmart's not going to pay me.
You know,
Walmart
it's like
don't even want to pay their own people.
I'm the co-sponsor of the yearbook, which makes me laugh because I'm pretty anti-yearbook. But it wasn't like I was given this task per se. I kind of volunteered. A friend of mine needed help, and I knew she needed help. And my original plans fell through, and I had to have something. So I said I'd help her. But then a couple weeks ago, she's like, well, this is a paid position, so do you want to split the pay? And I was like, no, I don't. I do not want. I don't want to get paid. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, look, I am, and it's not like I plan on not being helpful or anything, but I don't want to be responsible. If I take money for it, I'm responsible. If I'm just a volunteer, I'm not responsible.
I told them they were crazy. They just didn't listen.
Well,
I was just a lowly volunteer.
I know that yearbooks cost money. I know there are due dates. I know you're trying to get students to do anything and be responsible, and it can be a nightmare. And I'm not particularly well trained with this. I've done the newspaper before, but not the yearbook. So I have an inkling of how much of a pain in the butt it is. And I'm only helping a friend because she's going to need it. I do not want to be doing this because it's my job. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. I don't want it to be my responsibility.
I watched a girl paint pumpkins, and she had 4 of them, and so she was using different color techniques to shade it, right? And like one of it was like using the opposite color, and then like
complementary color,
black. Yeah, I mean it was just kind of neat. It was just quick. I mean, I've seen you kind of do the same thing, but I think she did hers in a slightly different order than what you normally do. So it's just interesting.
Okay. There's no one right way. I mean,
oh, I know. So today I'm working on. I'm making these questions for my class, and I write a lot of these, like just on vocabulary questions I've written. I'm almost up to 1,000 for this year, just vocabulary, and I thought I had my method pretty down, but there were certain hiccups that kept happening, and today I figured out it's nothing new. Like I've already known how to do everything that I was doing today, but I figured out a different order of doing it, and that will save me a ton of time because it'll fix one of the biggest hiccups. where it saves questions in the wrong spot, or I have to like hunt down a question that I want to use because it's a good template. And God, I was so happy over that. It's such a stupid little thing, but it just recognizing that just changing up the order of operations can have some pretty big changes overall. So just watching the way you do stuff and then watching the way somebody else does something is kind of neat. Just kind of comparing and seeing how the effects are, and just fun stuff.
I kind of have a rule about not comparing. But
well, I don't know if I'd be safe.
No, that's not for you. It's for me. The rule about not comparing is you don't compare your work to another artist's work. You compare your work to your older work.
Well, this is more about comparing techniques.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Is like the reason that you're comparing techniques, like you're not comparing techniques for use. You're comparing techniques for just kind of documenting, like, so that you know what they are. But as an artist, you never judge your work against another artist's work, because you don't know how long it took that artist to get there, where they're at in their journey. I hate to use that term because it sounds kind of pretentious, but it kind of is. Like the goal is not a destination in art. The goal is how you get there. That's that whole art school argument, right? Where some people swear by art school. I learned so much in art school, and then some people are like, art school was a waste of time. It just gave me a place to practice. They didn't teach me anything. Some people, I guess the difference is like some art schools are really not ateliers. They're not there where a teacher is going to take some hands-on time with you. To show you how you can do a technique, or show you how your technique is flawed, or maybe how you're not quite measuring right, or something like that. I mean, sometimes it just takes another eye looking at something. Even if it's not even a trained eye, it's just somebody that can recognize. It's kind of like the whole smart reader thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to know how to fix it. You have to know what needs to be fixed. Matter of fact, it should be left up to the person that's fixing it how to fix it. So by layering it, I can get a more blue layer as it gets out to the sky, and a more brown layer as it gets close to the light source, because brown is warm and blue is cold. For those not in the know.
Dog by one, you went off and dog pay. Oh, you're checking out the meat here. All right.
Let me mute myself for a couple minutes.
Dog? Okay.
Yeah, it was the dog. Click, click, click.
Yeah. I thought that's what that was. It was just a little clickety clackety. My dog gets that way. She hates having her toenails trimmed, and I don't care because she'll jump up and like put a hole in her shirt. She's like, ugh. I think one of my favorite shirts, I wore it like one time, and it's like one of the custom made ones that I had. She put a hole right in it. I was like, ooh. I think it was one of my Atticus Finch ones. So.
See what's happening here is a little bit of value confusion because the value of this blue is very similar to the value of that green. So I add a little bit of white to that. And by a little bit, I mean a bunch. Then hit this again.
Okay, well, I'm not going to make it till 11. I got to go pee. Sorry. I'll be back in just a minute. And I'm back. I also brought more fuel. Not a sponsor. Do you think the Dr. and Dr. Pepper is copyrighted because of they don't use a period?
Probably not. It's probably trademarked.
Well, okay, so but could it be trademarked by itself? Like the DR by it, like that's separate? Like nobody else can use DR?
They can try it. It just depends. Like if they tried it now, it'd probably be too late. That's like linoleum. Did you know linoleum? The reason that it means such a varied amount of things is that they didn't copyright the name linoleum when they first released it. And then when they did try to copyright it or trademark it, the judge told them that it's already gone into common use. It's too late. It is among the useless facts I have in my brain.
Well, I was doing some world building, and I've had this idea for a while of a drink that's kind of based off of the old 7-Up. And so part of it's a reference to Hugh Syme. And it was going to be Dr. Syme's lithium.
That's the Indiana thing again.
But Dr. Syme's lithiated lime. And just for fun, when I was writing it, since Syme has a Y, I thought I'd spell lime with a Y. And I'd done that for a little bit, and I thought, I should look this up to make sure I'm not doing something stupid.
Yeah, I don't think that you're trademarking is as part of your name. Maybe the name, but the use of an Y for an I, you're much too late to be able to do that.
Well, no, Lyme with a Y is a disease.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't use that. But
yeah, it would not be very fortuitous.
Yeah. That's like there was a diet supplement that was released in the early 80s called AIDS. It was poor timing.
Right.
What do you want?
Apparently this painting wants me to go over it again when I'm done. But you know me, I will.
Yeah, that's you.
I like the layering process. I like what it can do for control. Notice I have not used black, except for the pen that I inked it with.
What do you have against black?
I mean, I have anything against black. But it looks unnatural.
Some would call it unnatural.
So,
What do you want?
to use darker browns and brown blue mixtures, or there are other mixtures you can use to get there too. But to use these mixtures, it's not actually black, but it looks enough black.
Right.
To be there. Almost super fun time.
It's super fun time. Uh-oh.
Well, the funnest time will be when I am able to go into it with the black lines at the end to clean it up, and then put the silhouettes of trees in the background. But the next fun time is doing the lighter values. As we're getting there. Like all of these values dry lighter or dry darker. So kind of have to wait till the end. To get to that highest value. So this is, I'm going to show, this is that word I can't pronounce, yellow.
Yeah, almost. There we go. 𝒂𝒍𝒐𝒘𝒆𝒆🏐. Sure.
Right. But I'm using it straight from the tube is why I'm mentioning it. Because if somebody wants to duplicate this mess, I'm using it straight from the tube, but I'm using it over a white, kind of creamy orange mixture. So you can see through most of this paint. It's semi-transparent. All painted in thin layers is, and what happens is the light goes through, bounces on the furthest color down, and then reflects back up. So it creates a different color because it does that process. And the color of the light changes it as well.
Thanks, art people. You said good night, man. I'll see you on here again. Well, thank you. Come back anytime.
What's that?
Art people was saying goodbye.
Have a good one. We're actually almost done for the night. This is a multi-night project, so I think pretty much the next session will have it done. Depends on how long it takes to do the trees, but what we're doing is progressing lighter and lighter. Yeah, Larry Correa had some costume thing he went to, or maybe it was Halloween, where he went as a long rider.
Oh, yeah.
And I just happened to get a picture. His head shape is kind of weird.
Yeah, I think
So,
I've seen that.
but he's wearing a big brim hat and he's wearing a duster. I don't think the duster does him any justice the way he's wearing it.
Yeah.
But I thought if I ever need reference for cowboy purposes or something similar, if I ever decide to paint John Chanel.
Did you see that Orson Scott Card is doing another?
Yep, I saw it. Q&A.
Yeah.
So I've seen two of them, and if they weren't exactly the same, it's only because there were a couple of different questions asked. I like Orson Scott Card. He's just as opinionated as me, even though we don't agree on a lot of stuff.
Right.
That opinionated thing is passion, and I like that. So even if I don't agree with somebody who's passionate or makes a passionate argument, I respect it a hell of a lot more when I can tell how much passion's in it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I love how he's a cautionary tale of being a leftist.
Do Orson Scott Card?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like before all this crap popped up and they tried to cancel him, he was pretty much pretty left.
Yeah.
Like now he's recommending against joining the Science Fiction Writers of America. I think this will be the last pass for the night.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, let's try this add music thing one more time.
It's only been 3 hours.
Well, to be fair,
You were busy.
I've exactly been not doing something, and somebody has done this while we've been streaming, so
That's cool.
I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth. Definitely, I'm thankful for the help. So it looks pretty good. It's processing, so it's uploading. It's not telling me. Oh, they added another add new music button, so looks like it's going to be good. Oh, and it is. Let's check it out.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've got a lot of random sounds on this,
Yeah.
so I'm really interested to see what the overall is going to be.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I don't know how it's going to change from one song to another. Jake asked me if there was a particular order, and I'm like, nope, I don't care. So it could be some silly ass shit, and then some deep ass stuff, then some sad stuff, then some headbanging stuff. And it should go all over the place. One thing I can't do. Yeah, one thing I can do is fast forward to the next song. So you see where it is? That's at the bottom.
What on brand?
Yeah, on background music.
The Kevin MacLeod?
Yeah, it's pretty much all the music that I've got is either creator mix or Kevin MacLeod. Like I have other ones that I starred and saved on YouTube last night, but I haven't downloaded them into a playlist. I should get 2 playlists out of this.
Yeah, that's a drastically different feel.
Well, Jake said that he ripped most of the slower stuff off the grouping that I gave him.
Yeah.
So the first song was one of the slower ones, so I don't know. But yeah. It should go through a bunch of changes, and I don't know how much he put in it, but it should be just as long as, if not longer, than the list that we were just playing. So now we've got 3 playlists to bounce back and forth through.
Okay.
Yeah, now I need some dark over here so that this is a lighter contrast, and a little bit of dark over here for the same reason. And a little bit under here, over through here too. So that's where I'll be getting darker as I go down. So I might do another layer of darker blue as we go down. But I'm gonna do trees, and then I gotta do some lines and stuff. But then there's the light flare that's gonna come through the nose and one of the eyes. That's why the head's tilted, and why it's lighter in this area than it is in this area.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Okay, then.
And then it's on to either door painting or back to the comic. But I think your painting probably will be not all that long. A lot of it's partial silhouette, so no, I don't think a lot of bright garish colors will do it justice. So turn this a little bit so we can see more of the true colors. Let's bring that over also. Yeah, it's gonna watch. And you know the funnest part's gonna be ripping the tape off.
Well, yeah. Obviously.
I mean, hopefully the tape's not going to rip the shit out of this Canson paper. It's not a very strong watercolor paper. It's definitely not my Arches paper, but I don't want to get into using Arches paper when I'm using that for commissions right now. You know, money before.
Right.
All right, so everyone that watched for a while and commented, Art People 42, then I'm speaking of you, and wow, he spoke a lot. And
I know.
Thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, following, whatever you may have done. Good night. God bless. Much love.
Peace out. Peace out.